Let's go ahead and get the elephant in the room out of the way. Dead Island 2 is a fraud. They thought they could take us for fools, a bunch of fucking idiots, that we wouldn't notice it doesn't take place on an island. This doesn't affect the game in any way whatsoever. I just thought it was funny because that's what everyone's talking about. Dead Island 2 takes place in LA versus its predecessor, which takes place on a tropical island. Unlike Dead Island though, the sequel is not an open world Zamble game. It's a linear experience. That being said, the settings within Dead Island 2 have noticeably more variety in its aesthetics. It was fun exploring the areas available due to the sheer amount of detail in all of the nooks and grannies. Nooks and that's not right. Nooks and grandmas. Nooks and crannies. My two brain cells are really showing right now. Although it's not an open world game, the exploration doesn't feel limited and it's actually very rewarding. One of the features I personally felt was a downgrade coming into Dead Island 2 was multiplayer stuff. It went from being 4-player co-op to only 3-player co-op. Maybe they're taking into consideration that I don't have as many friends as I used to. One thing that didn't change was that the character you pick in the beginning of the game is the character you stick with throughout the entire experience unless you're willing to start over. They did take away the skill tree. Oh no, it's not an RPG anymore. Well, it is. Oh shit, we got the dodge skill. They replaced the skill tree with skill cards, essentially the same thing, but in cursive. You know, fancy. Oh. Skill card categories include ability, survivor, slayer, and Newman, each of which can be a mix between active and passive perks, buffs, or abilities. There's also several changes to the combat, the most impactful being the way that stamina works. Before, stamina was used up by pretty much everything. Running, swinging, farting. Now, stamina is only used up by charged attacks. It was a pretty nice change if you ask me. They also brought in environmental and elemental kills like fire and lightning. Out here whacking zombies is the avatar. Fire, lightning, and all the other elements used to fuck up some zombies. Perhaps one of the coolest and most talked about features in Dead Island 2 is the procedural gore. Being able to hack off limbs, watching skin fly off, burning the flesh of my enemies. Anyway, the story in Dead Island unfolds events of survivors in a world unfamiliar to them. The classic panic, what the hell is going on? We need to get out of here. Ah, there's zombies. Help. It's a little bit more dramatic than that.
In the medical room, if you can find it. Hurry.
Dead Island 2, on the other hand, tells a story of slayers, as they call it. You'll find less moments of hunker down and try to survive, and more characters throughout the world enjoying and making light of the post-apocalyptic mess that is LA. Or as they commonly refer to it, Hell A. That was one of those things that when they came up with, they were like, wow, this is so clever, let's include it as much as we possibly can in this game. Hell A this, Hell A that. The story overall is filled with dark humor and cheesy over-the-top satire.
Why are you exploding zombies? Oh, don't tell me you're filming this.
Yep. It's also not only present through the traditional main storytelling techniques like cutscenes and side missions, but it's also told through environmental storytelling. For example, walking into a room and being able to tell what happened there based on how everything is set up. What in the fuck was going on in this room? And why wasn't I invited? This looks lit, dude. End of the world bucket list, I see. This is something that's done very well in the Dying Light series. Which, by the way, Dying Light 2 got an update where you can now hack off limbs the day before Dead Island 2 comes out. Coincidence? No, it's not. They definitely did that on purpose. It's probably a mortal sin to talk about another zombie game while covering this one. They're cousins. I would say in comparison, Dead Island 1 takes itself a bit more serious than Dead Island 2. Lastly, and most obviously, the graphics are way better. That should go without saying. Dead Island 2 did come out in 2023 versus the previous release in 2011. If it didn't look better, it would be a big whoopsie. I would like to point out, however, that Dead Island did age like a fine wine. It's a great game even to this day, and it's been nice to see people popping back into it due to the release of 2. I want to know from you, are you a fan of the changes made in the sequel? Tell me all about it down in the comments below. Like and subscribe to see more goofy shit like this in the future, and stick around to see a preview montage of the introduction to Dead Island 2 that I played while on stream. Bye! Dead Island 2, baby! Ryan looks like he's having the time of his life during this crash. I'm bleeding out. Oh, tits. Already, dude? Yaki, what's up, dude? You didn't have a great time during the crash. Ooh, a first aid kit. Bitch, if you don't get your ass... Holy shit, dude. Breathtaking. Get help? He did not make it. That is not... Are you kidding me? Why is it that in every zombie movie, show, game, whatever, nobody knows what a zombie is? Like, that is definitely not an alive person. Bitch. My weapon is broken. Find a new one. Fuck. I hate durability. The bane of my existence. But it's fine. We'll figure it out. Excuse me, you're so rude. I'm just trying to grab my hammer. Get out the way. Oh, beautiful. Look at all these weapons too, just spewed about. Ready for me to take and plunder with. Oh, hello. My bad. I didn't know you were still alive, my guy. I mean, still undead? Still unalive? Oh, maimed. Yes. Skull stomping? This game feels great.